Alright, hey guys, it's been a little bit since our last video. I've had a little bit of rearranging going on here since then. I got a whole mess of new packages to open, so over the next week or so, I'm going to have a whole lot of new content right for you guys. But for today, I've just got one package. It's got a whole bunch of games in it that I have almost no clue what's in it, so, you know, it's going to be mostly a surprise. I do know that there's a whole lot of Dreamcast, PlayStation 1 games in there. There may be some other assorted things in there, but let's go ahead and dig in, see what we've got. Basically, a buddy of mine moved out to California and took all his game stuff with him, but he's tired of moving around, so he's just giving me all of his old stuff. Alright, so I'm just gonna get the trusty packing knife here and dig in. Like I said, I have no clue really what's in here outside of one or two games that I remember talking to him about. Hopefully be some old classics I remember playing over at his house back when we were in high school. Man, I'm digging the electrical tape that he used to package this thing, but boy, does it make it hard to cut into it without potentially damaging the package or myself. This, of course, is the biggest package that I have to open, so it's much more finite and completely random things that I had no idea what's inside of. So let's get this thing open. Alright, so that's what the inside of the package looks like for right now. A whole bunch of packing material that we're just going to send to the ground here. Alright. First thing I see here is a Dreamcast system. A little dirty. You know, I've got a couple of these already. Nothing inside. But yeah. Be great. That way I can put one of these in my arcade machine with my VGA box, and with that, create a great arcade experience. Some more packing material. Got a whole mess of that. The first game that we got in here is Space Channel 5. It's a great game. I actually got a copy of this already. Feels complete, kind of heavy. And it is. So, Space Channel 5. It's a great rhythm game. Lots and lots of replay value. Albeit a little bit hard. The next thing here is a Sega web browser. And nothing special to that. Came packed with every console. Alright, next is Power Stone 2. I actually already got a copy of this. Made a promise to my friend that I wouldn't sell any of these games, so I guess we'll have to do some creativity behind that one. But Power Stone 2, great party fighter. You know, 4-player beat-em-up action, real arcadey, which is one of the best features of the Dreamcast. So we got that to look forward to again. I may even boot this one up and head on into it. Virtua Tennis. Very fun arcade-style tennis game. Had a ton of fun playing this with him and a couple of my other friends when it came out. Great feel to the game. They really don't make a whole lot of good tennis games, so look forward to playing that again. Next up is The Typing of the Dead, which is a great port of, or remake rather, of House of the Dead 2, except for instead of light guns, you'll use a keyboard to type out words. It's real fun. Not a whole lot of excitement, but a whole lot of fun. Good distraction, you know, something to do. Right, one of the best games on the Dreamcast, which also happened to be a release title, Soul Calibur. A lot of fun playing this. A little burnt out on it, especially the newer games. Don't like those nearly as much, but Soul Calibur is a very tight game. The controls are just amazing, and it is one of the best 3D fighters ever made, really. Some of this other garbage out of the way here. Next is a Dreamcast controller with 2 memory cards, one being a VMU and the other being some sort of third-party, 4-slot memory card. So, always great to have another controller. What looks to be a composite video cable, third party, with built-in S-Video. Looks like it works with the Universal Nintendo and Dreamcast and PlayStation, perhaps. Maybe Xbox, I'm not quite sure. It's been a while since I've looked at the hookups on these things. Not bad to have, actually. Make playing the Super Nintendo with S-Video even better, so no problems there. Alright, another Dreamcast controller with a blue VMU inside. Don't think I have a blue one, actually. I believe the only one I have that's a different color is forest green, and that's still sealed in a box somewhere. Some more packing material. And a Dreamcast microphone. How embarrassing. Dreamcast microphone adapter. I don't see a headset in here, but this was used for games like Seaman, and I believe there's voice communication in... I don't remember the name of the game off the top of my head. It's like Battle Tanks, though. Not quite sure if it was used in Bomberman Online. I know for a fact it was not used on Phantasy Star Online. That would have been really nice. Right, next we got Wacky Races for the Dreamcast. Never actually played this before, but I was a big fan of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon on Cartoon Network growing up, so looks pretty awesome. Looks like a Mario Kart clone, 4-player action. Seems pretty decent. Alright, this is one of the games that I knew was coming in the lot. It's a shame the case is cracked, but I think I can get a replacement for it. It's Legend of Mana. One of my favorite games on the PlayStation 1 for sure, and it's definitely gone up in price since going out of print and becoming harder to find. But it's Legend of Mana, and it's a hack and slash style game similar to Secret of Mana on the PlayStation 1, or rather the Super Nintendo. It's a great game, and if you've never played it, check it out. Lots of replay value on that one. Alright, next is Skies of Arcadia. Great RPG on the Dreamcast. Probably the best on the Dreamcast, to be fair, but there aren't very many also, so take that into consideration. It's not a big deal. Load times are kind of frustrating in this game, especially because of the way that the Dreamcast laser reads the discs, and it just creates an awful lot of noise when going into and out of battles. I actually already own this for the GameCube as Skies of Arcadia Legends, and it's just a terrific, wonderful game. If you've never played it, I really want you to check it out. It is one of the best games of the last generation. Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure is a great release title for the system. One of the best games for the system. Absolutely cannot suggest Sonic Adventure any harder. I've actually got 3 or 4 copies of this game, and including the GameCube remake, as well as the Director's Cut on PC and the Xbox. Really, really amazing game. Right? The other really terrific RPG for the Dreamcast, which is Grandia 2. Amazing soundtrack. I cannot suggest the soundtrack anymore. Great synthesizer. Great music. Battle systems pretty great and unique. Cutscenes are pretty great. I said great about 7 times, so it's just the descriptor for this game. It is great. Now it looks like we have Destruction Derby for the PlayStation 1. Never played it before. Could be great, could be terrible. My guess is probably not one of the better games for the PlayStation 1, but I'm always up for being surprised, so maybe I'll boot up the PlayStation here in a little bit and give it a try and give some initial impressions on it. Alright. Next we have Test Drive Le Mans on the Dreamcast. I did like the Test Drive series on the Dreamcast. Not a huge fan of racers. I prefer something more arcadey like the Rush series. I know this isn't like a super sim racer, but you know, Tokyo Extreme Racer, that's kind of my deal right there. But great game. Definitely gonna give this a play. Alright, next we got Jet Grind Radio. Cannot suggest this game enough. It is one of the most unique games on the system. The sequel on the Xbox is one of the best games on the system, bar none, and they both have amazing soundtracks. This actually just got a recent digital re-release on the PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, and Steam. And if you buy the game on Steam, you get the soundtrack with it. Just an amazing game. I definitely suggest you check it out. And this is actually my second or third copy of the game. First one to be complete. The other two are missing the manual. Alright, now we're getting to the meat of things here. Almost done. Got Sega Rally Championship. Alright. I love Sega Rally on the Sega Saturn. Love the arcade game. I cannot recommend it more. I believe there's one on the Xbox. I'm not quite sure about that. Heck, I may even own it. And that may be Sega GT. But Sega Rally is just a fun rally-style racer. Check it out. Right, just a couple more things here down at the bottom of the box. Aha! Found the microphone for the microphone add-on here. Just plops on like this. A little awkward, but hey, it's a microphone, it works. Or rather, it should work. And to go with that, at the bottom of the stack here, is Seaman. One of the most unique games ever to be made. You know, it's artificial life simulator. You know, there's not much more to say about that, except for the fact that your artificial life is a fish with a human face that talks smack to you. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Absolutely suggest this game. I really wish that Sega would, you know, port this, work on the voice work, do something with the franchise. You know, I know that they're strapped for cash right now, and they're just sticking to the really safe franchises. So I know they can't take risks like this anymore, but I know that's not the reason they went out of business. So I really wish they would, you know, do something with that. Right, just 3 games left here at the bottom of the barrel. And unfortunately, one of the games at the bottom of the barrel is one of the worst ones there. It's NBA 2K1. Not a huge fan of sports games. The 2K series is one of the best sports series ever to exist. No lie. And I'm really frustrated with EA and the way that they handle their sports series now. Can't really recommend anything that they put out. The 2K series is just phenomenal. Alright. Okay, looks like we've got Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PlayStation 1. It has Final Fantasy 6. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Both great games. Not a huge fan of Final Fantasy 4, but Chrono Trigger, I cannot recommend that enough. One of the best RPGs for the Super Nintendo. A little bit pricey. The PlayStation 1 version, not so bad. It does suffer from a little bit of lag from loading. It does take a while to load. If you pop that in a PS2 or a PlayStation 3, I've heard that it does reduce the load time, takes the stress off the game. So we're going to give that a try. Of course, the definitive version being on the Nintendo DS. Great remake, fantastic price, about $20, maybe a little bit less, new or used. The last game that I did not know would be in here is Threads of Fate for the PlayStation 1. Have absolutely no clue what this game is about. Looks like it is some sort of action RPG. Multiple characters, things like that. Never played it before, but it looks like a fun game. So I'm definitely going to check this one out. And being that it's one of the games that I have no clue about, I'm just going to give it a try. All right, well that's it for the games here today. Thanks for sticking around watching the video, and everybody, you know, if you have any comments, questions, just leave them down in the chat box down below. Just go down here and leave me a comment, or you can go up here to the top here and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And all right, we'll see you next time.